Oh, hold on. You should see that box included at the bottom of your feed. One of the things that they recommend that you do is just to make sure that when you're typing your answer and the students show up in the Q&A, that the question will populate here. Let me show you this. Why is this not? That's weird. There we go. Q&A will be here. This is the box. Questions will also appear in that particular box. You can answer the questions at that time. And then we recommend that you send the answer privately, just so that, because if you answer it publicly, their name is displayed. And so you'll want to keep that in mind. Once you have answered the question, it should automatically dismiss, so you don't have to worry about that. This is the slide that I'll actually be sharing. So it's very brief. It won't be long in terms of content that's delivered. So don't worry about that. And then Jasmine, do you mind doing the share screen right fast?
Yeah, sure. All right, let me know if that pops up for y'all. Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Looks good.
I'll give it back to you, Adam.
Lisa, I like your background.
Thanks. I was like, oh, wait a minute. It looks a little wonky in my background, so thanks. Although my hair will end up here.
And Adam, are we already live? I saw we have some attendees.
I don't remember hitting the button, but if we are, I'll just stop what we're doing right fast.
No, it's all good. Maybe we're not. I don't know.
It says 9 participants.
Okay, so people, for some reason, the meeting automatically went live.
Well, hey.
We'll wait.
We weren't talking bad about anybody.
Yeah, this is unedited, unscripted, the before the show. This is the pre-show.
Absolutely. Let me make sure. I'll wait right up to the top of the hour. That way students accessing the link right at that time can then get into the session. So. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. That way I can cover this particular segment and then allow more time for the presenters. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Officers, or CACRAO, and StriveScan. We thank you for joining us this evening for a wonderful session. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many sessions taking place through this CACRAO and StriveScan partnership. So we encourage you to check out the full schedule of events at cacrao.org, CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week on that same website. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters so that they can begin their session.
All right, let's see presentation mode. Can I get a thumbs up from one of you guys if I'm okay? Awesome. Welcome everybody. We're excited to have you here, whether you're a student or a family member or maybe a college counselor. We're excited that you're joining us this evening to learn a little bit about higher education in the Queen City or in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to go through and introduce ourselves, and I'll start off. My name is Jasmine. I work as a Senior Assistant Director of Admissions at Queen's University of Charlotte. We are a small, private, comprehensive university located in the Myers Park neighborhood, which is about 2 miles from uptown Charlotte. We have about 2,500 students on our campus, and we offer degree programs in a number of different areas. And I'm excited to share with y'all a little bit more this evening. And I'll pass it off to Brittany if she wants to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone, and it's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Brittany Paramore. I am an admissions counselor at Johnson C. Smith University here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Johnson C. Smith is unique to the group because we are the only HBCU that is represented on this panel. We have about 1,500 students on campus. Classroom size is about 12-to-1 student-teacher ratio, and there isn't any in-state or out-of-state tuition. So that's pretty much the bulk of us, and then I'll be able to answer questions moving forward. So it's a pleasure meeting you all, and I hope you all enjoy our panel.
Hey everyone, my name is Lisa Koenig. I am an admissions representative at Johnson & Wales University. We are a small campus of 1,600 students right in the heart of uptown Charlotte. We have easy access to public transportation, no need for a car. We are comprised of the College of Arts and Science, Hospitality Management Business, and the College of Food, Innovation, and Technology. Our application is always free, and we are a test optional school. If you do crave a bigger city experience with more students, we have a campus out of state in Providence, Rhode Island, which has about 9,000 students. It's 3 hours from New York City and about 1 hour to Boston. Happy to be here.
All right, and good evening, everyone. My name is Chelsea Whitman. I am an assistant director in admissions at UNC Charlotte. We are a large public university that sits just under 10 miles north of Center City in Charlotte. We serve a little over 30,000 students and have about 171 bachelor degree offerings to choose from. So I'm excited to be with you all tonight to share a lot more about the city of Charlotte and opportunities that you all have as students in a major metropolitan location. So you'll see here, this is a map of all the great, trendy, fun neighborhoods that make up the full greater Charlotte area. You'll also notice 4 stars that are strategically placed, essentially representing each one of our 4 campuses. So it's kind of just to illustrate our close proximity and kind of where we are in terms of the surrounding greater Charlotte area. And how what's really special about all of us coming together is that each one of our campuses offers different qualities and characteristics, but our students are all taking full advantage of a lot of very similar opportunities in terms of what the location has in store. So to get us started, I'm going to just do a brief overview of the city just to give you some highlights. I will say it's challenging to come up with just one skyline image. There are so many great images out there of our beautiful skyline, but I went with this one just to illustrate a picture of what our city is going to look like in just a few hours from now as a nighttime shot of Center City. So while the city looks very young. We actually have a pretty rich history in the greater, or in Charlotte. And so we don't have a ton of time to dive deep into the history, but I do want to at least touch on some history just through the lens of some typical questions that we get a lot of times about fun features for Charlotte specifically. So you might find yourself wondering, why does Charlotte call their downtown area uptown? Or why is Charlotte the Queen City? And if you've never had these questions, maybe you know someone who has, but I just want to address these through the perspective of our history and kind of why we do these things in Charlotte. So essentially looking at the uptown note there, you're looking at a picture essentially of the centermost point of Charlotte at the intersection of Trade and Tryon. And essentially approaching this intersection from any direction, you are gently moving upward. So there is a slight incline, which I will say is very apparent if you're approaching this area by foot. So if you're running or walking into Center City, you might be on a bike or a scooter, all very popular modes of transportation in the city. That subtle or slight incline is very obvious. But essentially that uptown comes from the fact that approaching the very center point of our city, it is the highest most point in our city. And then the Queen City, in terms of where that comes from, essentially back when the city or the town was being charted in 1768, King George III was over the colonies, and essentially they chose to name the town after King George III's wife, Queen Charlotte. And so that's essentially where Queen and Charlotte come from, and just some fun facts there. So now that we have that out of the way, aren't you glad you know some of those fun facts about Charlotte? All right, so while all of those things are fun in terms of history, there's a lot that's happening right now in our city. So just some fun facts to look at in terms of where we are today. Charlotte is the largest city in North Carolina. I think most people are fully aware of that. But we're also the fastest growing tech talent market we're in the country. We're the second largest banking center in the US and home to the third largest healthcare system in the Southeast. And I essentially think this does a good job of kind of illustrating the variety of industry in terms of technology and finance and healthcare and being really strong in those markets in Charlotte. We're also the 5th fastest growing city in the US, according to Charlotte Regional Business Alliance. Nearly 100 people move to the greater Charlotte region every day, drawn for career opportunities, diverse living options, and an attractive cost of living. We're in a great location for sure. We also have the 7th busiest airport in the world, home to 7 Fortune 500 companies. And this is just to illustrate those that have a headquarter in Charlotte. So we're surrounded by tons of Fortune 500 companies across the board. But in terms of those that have their headquarter located in Charlotte, we have 7 of them. And then we are also the 15th most populous city in the US, tending to hover back and forth between cities like San Francisco, out in California, and Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas. We tend to be similar size in terms of population, but we are the 15th most populous currently in the US. All right, and then looking at our location, I think that's another really attractive quality of Charlotte and kind of where Charlotte is located in the Carolinas in general. So we are in close proximity to areas that are a drivable distance for a day, and certainly drivable distance for a weekend, but we are about a day's worth, an hour and a half to both Columbia, South Carolina, as well as Greensboro, North Carolina, and about a 2-hour drive to Asheville, North Carolina. I would say all of those are easily done within a day's trip. I know I've taken several trips myself in a day to Asheville. Then you've got Raleigh, that's about 2.5, Charleston and Wilmington areas that sit, or the Wilmington area that sits 3 to 3.5 hours, getting you to the coast for that beach experience. And so while it's a little bit further, certainly doable by car and an easy weekend getaway when you want to change the scenery from the city to a coastal location. So we're in close proximity to all of those areas. certainly adding and contributing to the top qualities of our location of Charlotte. All right, so then it's important kind of thinking about the major employers in the city. And this is just really intended to illustrate the variety of industries in our city. So looking at some of our major employers, you're gonna see Atrium Health, Wells Fargo, CMS for Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools, Walmart Incorporated, Bank of America, Novant Health, and American Airlines. And so these are just essentially within the top 10 of major employers in the city of Charlotte, really just showing you a variety of those across our city. So we're going to dive a bit deeper into the professional experience that all of our students really tackle as students on our individual campuses. So I'm going to pass that over to Lisa.
Thank you, Chelsea. So our students at Johnson & Wales and graduates have worked at and established some of the best restaurants on the culinary scene in Charlotte and around the country and world. Restaurants like Kindred, Heirloom, The Purple Pig in Chicago. They've been hired by companies such as Aramark, Deloitte, Marriott, Bank of America, Coca-Cola, Ritz-Carlton, and by sports organizations such as the Carolina Panthers, NASCAR, the Charlotte Knights, and the Charlotte Hornets. We are well known among our colleges as having one of the best internship and career service programs around. In fact, other colleges frequently visit us to learn how we manage our internship programs and how they can improve the services they offer their students. I know that Chelsea mentioned that there are 7 headquarters of Fortune 500 companies in our city, but there's also over 250 branch offices here. So the amount of opportunity for both employment and internship is huge. Because of the relationships that we've developed with hundreds of the world's leading companies, you'll find plenty of opportunity related to your career interests, and all for academic credit. Last year, nearly 570 of our Charlotte students completed internships, and we conducted over 1,100 on-campus job interviews. 95% of our students said they felt more prepared for their careers after taking on an internship. So that's just a little snippet about the professional opportunities that the Johnson & Wales students have. I'm going to bounce it now to Brittany to talk about Johnson C. Smith.
Thank you, Lisa. Johnson C. Smith, just to give a professional overview of our business department, is one of our largest majors at Johnson C. Smith. We have about 235 students enrolled in that major alone. Students do have the opportunity to choose from 7 different concentrations, even in that business major, whether it be marketing, international business, finance, accounting, management, retail, or management information systems, excuse me. We also have 2 honor societies at Johnson C. Smith for those students that are enrolled into that business department, Delta Mu Delta Honors Society, and we also have the American Marketing Association, who does have a partnership with Facebook. We also still have an economics major. I know that is, I read an article a few weeks ago saying that some majors are dying, but economics is still one of the majors that we still do offer at Johnson C. Smith University. Lisa talked about internships, and internships at Johnson C. Smith just as important. We do have an internship course that students in our business major have to take in order for them to graduate. The course is designed for students to participate it's a 4-semester course, and by the end of that course, we do, and they do it their junior year. So by the time their senior year, hopefully they will have a job for those different companies that they've interned with. The current partnerships that we have are with Red Ventures, Fifth Third Bank, and with IBM. The Red Ventures is a new one we actually started last year. Now, currently, we still have 10 students who are currently interning with Red Ventures, and last year, 5 students, as they graduated to positions at Red Ventures, as well as with Bank of America and Wells Fargo. Another cohort, we actually just started our class on September 8th, so 15 students have been selected for that cohort, and so we are excited to see what is going to be next there. I'm going to give it back to, I believe it's Lisa, so she can go back over hospitality at JBU as well.
Thank you, Brittany. I chose to kind of spotlight onto hospitality because during COVID-19, this was one of the areas that was really hardest hit. And I want to reiterate that there is still tremendous opportunities for careers in the hospitality industry. Johnson & Wales is known as a global leader in hospitality education. We have a range of degree programs in our College of Hospitality and Management, and they're designed to help you build a career that will take you wherever you want to go in this ever-expanding multi-billion-dollar hospitality industry. We help identify your field of interest, including management positions in hotel, tourism, travel, food service, sports, entertainment, and event industries. Our strong business core curriculum is embedded into each major and is designed to help you develop portable skills necessary to pursue a range of management positions and to switch your major while at JWU should you choose. Maybe you're thinking of owning your own bed and breakfast, or managing a prestigious hotel, or seek an executive position with a large hotel corporation, casino, resort, spa, or even a cruise line. Our hotel and resort management bachelor's degree can help you position yourself to excel in a $500 billion per year industry, which is growing rapidly as millennial travelers have now surpassed the baby boomers as the dominant consumer group. The Charlotte campus is located in a thriving hospitality hub, so you'll gain exposure and networking opportunities in and out of the classroom. Build your resume through internships at local, national, and even international sites. A study abroad program, which is something you will plan for very early on in your academic career. And we offer programs across Europe, Asia, and Australia, and many, many more. We have about 30 different programs for study abroad. So that said, a little snapshot of hospitality at JWU. I'm going to bounce it back to Jasmine.
Yeah, perfect. So, and students and folks that are on the session today, I hope that you see a little bit of us highlighting different areas. Charlotte is a great city for professional opportunities in any area that you're interested in. So some people think, well, it's a big city, maybe it's finance or healthcare or something like that. There's a lot to offer. So we're highlighting just a few of these opportunities for you. A lot of times I think often too, students think, and a lot of times parents think, particularly in the arts and humanities field, that there aren't a lot of potential opportunities when you get that degree. Well, what are you going to do with an art history degree? Or I heard it when I was a student, what are you going to do with that political science degree, Jasmine? You know, I loved political science. I wanted to study it for 4 years and I had a great time doing it. And I learned interdisciplinary skills that I use every day in my job now. But if you're interested in something in the arts and humanities is a broad term, that might be social sciences, it might be psychology, it might be a language or English, creative writing, something like that. There's a number of opportunities for you, and it's not just limited to what's here on the screen, but I did want to highlight some of these for you specifically in the Charlotte area. So there are 444 nonprofits in the city of Charlotte, and I actually think this number is probably a little bit lower than what is actually the case, because these are nonprofits that are, you know, kind of registered with the organization that counts this sort of thing. So I have no doubt that there are more, but suffice it to say that there are literally hundreds of opportunities for you to and so with a big city comes the need for public policy, for social support programs, and so those are run. There are over 20 local government departments and over 30 federal government departments just located in the city of Charlotte. So if you're interested in some sort of, you know, political science like I did, or maybe you're interested in public policy or things of that nature, international studies, that sort of thing, you can do a lot of that in the city of Charlotte. I interned when I was a student at Queens at the U.S. Export Assistance Center, which is a department of the federal government, and we helped companies export their goods and services outside of the United States. There are only 3 of those offices in the state of North Carolina, and Charlotte, being the biggest city in North Carolina, obviously has one of those offices. You might see students interning with the FBI office here in Charlotte, or you might see students interning with Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. On the nonprofit sector, you know, you see students who will intern or take jobs after graduation in big nonprofits and small nonprofits, doing a lot of different things. And then on the art side too, this, again, is a number that I think is probably a little bit lower here than it actually is, because it's hard to quantify or define what an arts and culture establishment is, but there are plenty of them. So whether that be performing arts, whether it's music, you know, we have the Charlotte Orchestra, we have the Blumenthal Performing Arts Center uptown, which shows a lot of big programs. If you're interested in working in, maybe it's art history or art administration in a museum. And there are tons of museums all across the city of Charlotte, in particular in Uptown Charlotte. So there's a lot of opportunities for you in a field where sometimes, and it's especially adults want to tell you can't get a job in this area. And it's not that you can't, you just have to have those opportunities at your fingertips, which is very easy to find here in Charlotte. So I'm going to pass it off to back to Brittany to talk a little bit about JCSU.
I won't go and read this all because I'm sure you all have had a long day, and no, you don't want me to read a snippet verbatim, so I'll just give you an overview of what this is. Hanoi Darden was the 2013 class valedictorian. I am actually a proud alumna of Johnson C. Smith, so she was actually my alumna when I graduated. We are also in the same sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I know Hanoi very well. She is currently the Financial Crimes Independent Monitoring and Testing Officer. She told me she apologized for the long title. She wanted me to also say that too, at Truce Bank. When Hanoi first started at Johnson C. Smith, she's from a small town in Pennsylvania, Norristown, Pennsylvania. And she talks about how when she came onto the campus of Johnson C. Smith, she felt like she was at home, and how the faculty and staff, due to the low sizes in classrooms, she was really able to really develop a close relationship with her faculty and peers, and was really able to help her as she matriculated on through the college. And then after she graduated, she started with BB&T Bank, which she had an internship with while we were in school. That internship turned into a job opportunity, and now she is sitting as an assistant vice president at Truce Bank. So this is just a little success story about one of our students at Johnson C. Smith, and we have many more. But if you are interested in going into the banking industry and or business industry, we have a phenomenal program, and we have phenomenal alumni who are able to connect you with the right people, because it's not always what you know, it is also who you know that can be able to open up some doors that will be able to get you to the next step of success. So I can't remember who's next. Oh, it's you, Chad.
Me. Tag, I'm in. All right, so engineering is also a prominent industry with a lot of opportunity in the greater Charlotte area, and certainly well beyond that. But it's in terms of pursuing a bachelor's degree in engineering, there are a lot of opportunities outside of the classroom that really propel a student for success in this field. Engineering is certainly known to be a lucrative career path in an area where students are strong in math and science. And so this is just a snapshot of statistics from the graduating class of 2019, just looking at some of the top employers in the city for engineering students. So you're looking at American Airlines, Duke Energy, and then Ramey Kemp and Associates is a more local, they serve the Southeast as a consulting for transportation engineering, designing, and things like that. And they hire a lot of engineers in the greater Charlotte area. Just a snapshot to give a sense of the average starting salary for an engineering student, and then looking at engineering graduates certainly are tapped into in terms of, or they're sought after in terms of employment just beyond graduation. So you'll see about 92% of students right after or following graduation found themselves full-time employed or were in a continuing education program. That could be a master's program, a professional program, something like that. And then just to highlight one of the target industries, looking at the greater Charlotte area in terms of making a footprint, is the automotive industry, which is certainly attractive to aspiring engineers. But essentially the US automotive industry is shifting to the Southeast, and the Charlotte region is at the center of this change. So a lot of excitement to come in terms of this particular industry as it relates to engineers.
Perfect. So we talked a lot about professional opportunities in Charlotte and the benefits that you'll have from an academic and professional setting as a student in the Queen City. But we know that not all of college is spending time in the classroom and getting an internship and preparing for your career. A lot of it is just being a college student and being a resident of the city or the place that you're living. And there are so many benefits to being a Charlottean. I grew up just north of Charlotte in Mecklenburg County. And I didn't really get to know Charlotte as a city until I came to Queens as a student. And there's so many things that our students, and not only Queens, but Johnson C. Smith and Johnson and Wales that our students get to take advantage of. And I think the key here is that there's really something for every single person. You can be in activities. You can see here on the screen, I felt like pictures really did a lot better justice to this topic than words. If you're into outdoors, maybe you're park or some of the greenways in the area. Maybe you're going to the U.S. National Whitewater Center, which is on the top right-hand corner of your screen. That is a U.S. Olympic training for whitewater rafting, zip lining, rock climbing. You can just go and hike and, bike and do that sort of stuff. I have plenty of friends who like to take their dogs out there. And they do have what's called River Jam in the summer, typically when there's not a pandemic. And they have concert series out there right on the river. So it's beautiful. You're really close to a lot of hiking opportunities, getting out and exploring the nature and the wilderness in the Charlotte area, which we think, we see that pretty skyline and we think, well, is there any like greenery? There's a ton right in the Charlotte area, and you're easily accessible to all of those. Maybe you're like me and you're really into sports. I love sports and I love being in Charlotte when it's sports season, which is all the time because we have so many sports. There are 6 professional sports teams in the Charlotte area. This is just a few of them. You can obviously see, and you probably know, of the Carolina Panthers, of the Charlotte Hornets. We are going to be home to a new MLS or Major League Soccer team in 2022, the Charlotte Football Club. So those are some of the bigger, more known leagues, the NFL, NBA, and MLS. But we're also home to some others. And this is, I think, crucial, especially for college age students who maybe don't have the funds to always go to a Panthers game. But you can go to, a lot of our schools will offer discounts for these tickets too. But you can get a $6 ticket to go see the Charlotte Knights play, which is a AAA baseball affiliate of the White Sox, Chicago White Sox. You can see that picture down in the bottom right-hand corner I've been to a lot of baseball stadiums, y'all. This is the best one I've been to, minor league or major league. Beautiful skyline view. They do fireworks displays, so you can go to a game there. We have professional lacrosse, hockey, NASCAR is really big in the area. So there's a lot to take advantage of if you're a sports fan. If you're into arts, if you're into performing arts or music or just the art scene in general, you have a lot to take advantage of in Charlotte as well. That top picture is the Fillmore, which is not even our biggest music venue. There's 9 major music venues in Charlotte. And when I say major, I mean major. Like you're talking thousands of attendees. So you have a ton of well-known, A-list headliners coming to Charlotte. So I'd love to go out and see a concert when there's not a pandemic. Maybe you're into the more, smaller, maybe you're into the indie music scene or something like that. You might go catch a concert or a show in the theater, which is in NODA. Maybe you're into classical music or performing arts like Broadway musicals or orchestra or symphony. That came to Charlotte. It was an awesome opportunity. So those are all right there at your fingertips in a lot of our different neighborhoods of Charlotte. Staying on that kind of arts theme, if you're into just the art scene, culture scene, we kind of talked about that a little bit with the professional opportunities, but just things to experience. You see a number of these here on the screen, some murals. Mural art is very popular, it seems, in Charlotte and becoming more popular every time I drive into Uptown. But maybe you're visiting the Beckler Museum, which is the one you see in the top left-hand corner. That's the Firebird statue. My personal favorite is the Levine Center. We have a Levine Center on our campus. The Levine Museum of the New South, which is a Southern and Charlotte history and culture museum. So you can really take advantage of all of it. And last thing I would say on this social thing before we kind of wrap up with a couple of examples of these social opportunities from each of our schools is accessibility and transportation. When you go to college, you are going to be wanting to explore, all these things that are around you. How can you get there and do that? In Charlotte, there's so many opportunities for you. You see the light rail up at the top left-hand corner. That's my favorite way to travel around the Charlotte city. It'll take you into Uptown. It'll take you out to the university area, which I think Chelsea is going to talk about in just a minute. It'll take you into NODA, which is the arts district, really all over. You can take the railroad car over there on the right-hand screen. A bike share or scooter share is very popular in the Charlotte area. You can walk a lot of places, the Greenway, obviously Uber and Lyft are super accessible. You can literally get one at any time of the day. And then the Charlotte Douglas International Airport is a big hit too. So if you are from out of state, further away, or maybe you're going to visit family, or maybe you're taking a study abroad experience out of college, the international airport is going to be a big hub for you. So you're going to be able to easily get into the city of Charlotte. Your family and friends are going to be able to visit you. You're going to be able to go visit them. So it's really easily accessible city. So the last thing we're going to do is give just a couple examples, staying on this social topic here, of things that our students are really into when it comes to the social scene in Charlotte and on our campuses. And I think that Lisa is up first.
Thank you. JWO Charlotte, again, as I mentioned, we're home to over 1,500 students, and we kind of look at it as we're offering Southern charm in a modern setting with a wide range of student-run clubs, social activities, and athletics. You have an opportunity to get involved in over 40 student clubs and organizations. If you are passionate about something we do not offer as a club or an organization, you need 5 other interested students and a faculty mentor, and you can start your own. We have campus events like Fall, Winter, and Spring Fest, Wildcat Welcome, concerts, bands, carnivals, and world-class speakers. We play in the USCAA division for varsity sports. We have intramurals, and we have fitness classes. Quick quote from one of our alumni, Zach Nemick. He graduated undergrad 14, MBA 15 in the Providence campus. He's from Buffalo. He said, studying at JWO Charlotte is an immersive, exciting, yet challenging academic experience. There's always so much going on around you in a city that never seems to stop getting bigger. This offers exciting student life and new friends for life. And I really do think you'll find that. I moved to this area in '94. It was super sleepy and quiet, and today the city never ceases to amaze me with opportunities for both our students and alumni to go out and experience. So I'm gonna bounce it back to Jasmine.
I don't know if you guys can see me. My camera has disappeared, but hopefully you can hear me. I'm actually gonna jump it over to the next one and come back to this slide because I feel like I need to find my camera. So if Chelsea, if you can hear me, you're up.
Got it. All right, so just looking at some social opportunities that students take advantage of as a student at UNC Charlotte and University area. We are a little further out, about like I mentioned, a little less than 10 miles north of Center City, but in very close proximity to PNC Music Pavilion, where really large outdoor concerts are held that come through the Charlotte area. And then Charlotte Motor Speedway, also very, very close to campus. And that will bring a lot of visitors to the greater Charlotte area, and our students take advantage of that as well. Outside of that, I will say that our students also have direct access to the city as a whole via light rail. So the light rail, Jasmine mentioned it, definitely had a photo of it. It comes all the way to our campus. So our students are able to hop onto light rail right from the north side of our campus, just with the use of their student ID card, for direct access into Center City, but also into a lot of the neighborhoods that Jasmine went over. So while our students, there's separation of our campus in terms of the physical space of campus and Center City, accessibility to Center City is very convenient through public transportation like light rail.
Perfect. Thanks for taking that punt there, Chelsea. I disappeared. Everybody disappeared. I'll go quick and then I'll let Brittany wrap us up. So back to this slide. There are a lot of opportunities. All the opportunities that we've talked about our students at Queens are involved in. But I did want to highlight one in particular. Our campus is in the Myers Park neighborhood, which, if you're not familiar with Charlotte or familiar with Myers Park, is a highly residential area. So we're very much in a neighborhood. It's a very affluent neighborhood. It's a very historic neighborhood. Tree-lined streets, big oak trees, all that good stuff is quite beautiful. But right near our campus, a little less than a mile on the back side of our campus, is Freedom Park, which is one of the largest parks Southeast and hosts a lot of events and festivals and different activities. So you can go on any day and experience the greenways. You can pond or lake here, and there's a nice kind of trail around it. I enjoy that. But it seems like every weekend almost, especially in the fall and when it's beautiful weather, there's a lot of events and festivals. This is Festival in the Park, which is my favorite event. I have been to Festival in the Park every single year. As a Queens student way back, which is getting further and further away now. But essentially, all of these vendors from really across the country come and set up here. They set up their tents, as you can see. It might be an art setup. It might be people selling, craft-made jewelry. I bought my grandpa one time a canjo, which is a banjo made out of a can, and it was very cool. They have carnival food. They have games. They have raffles and prizes and displays. They have, performers and, music and dancing and all that sort of stuff. So it's a great event that our students can literally just walk right to. So a lot of opportunities at Freedom Park. So I'll hand it over to Brittany to wrap up for our last one here.
I'm back. So getting social at JCSU, Chelsea mentioned the light rail. I didn't put a picture, but they are completing the light rail in front of JCSU. It has been a very long process. They told us it would be done March of this year, and I do go on campus once a week, and I can report that they are not done with it like they told us they would be in March. But at Johnson C. Smith University, we have about 60 different groups and organizations on campus. All first-time students receive a free passport as well as a free iPad. We are located in the historic West End. We are literally about a spit's distance away from Uptown Charlotte. Me and Lisa are almost neighbors. We're like distant neighbors. She's a little further down Trade Street than I am. But Johnson C. Smith, we are in an ideal location during, if you want to be more in the city, kind of a city feel, you can definitely have that at JCSU. As a student at JCSU, we will walk down to Uptown, and then we would take, at that time, it was the trolley back. It was like an old fashioned trolley with wheels that they would that the city had converted for just to kind of give a little bit more sass to the city. So students are able to utilize the busing systems as long as they have their student ID and all of the light rails as well. We're also Division II CIAA. We have all 9 of the Black Greek letter organizations as well as 2 Latino fraternities and sorority. We were the first HBCU to take undocumented students, and we still take undocumented students. And this is just kind of like a brief overview of all the social stuff at JCSU. And I'm done.
Oh, there's my camera, it's back.
I was gonna say.
I swear. And I think it went to the last, let's go, there we go.
Here we go.
So we want to open it up for questions. I'm sure there are some out there. If one of you ladies are checking out that chat box, feel free, students or family or counselors who are here, to throw out some questions for us, either about Charlotte or about our institution. And
Yeah,
also,
sorry. Yeah,
no, go ahead, Chelsea, go ahead.
We have about, 8 minutes left in our session? Yeah, so I'd love to hear and address anything you all have.
Yeah. And we put our admissions contact information up on the screen. So if ever you have questions about institutions or about our admissions policies and processes, then you can reach out. Most of us are just admissions@institution.edu. So feel free to throw some questions in the chat box. Maybe while students are doing that, ladies, I'm doing this on the spot. Do y'all want to share maybe like, what's your ideal day spent in Charlotte? Like if you have a Saturday afternoon, what are you doing? Actually, I see a question pop up, so maybe one of y'all can read that. Thank you for filling my time, question asker.
Yeah, I'll pitch this to the group. Great question. Do any of the 4 colleges have medical or pre-medical schools? Jasmine, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So Queens certainly has a lot of pre-medical, pre-health science opportunities. If I can remember them off the top of my head, pre-med, pre-physician's assistant, pre-PT, OT, vet, dentistry. I think I got them all. So yeah, we have a ton of those programs, and it's very popular areas to study at Queens.
Cool.
Same for Johnson and Wales. We have recently added in Charlotte a health science program. We have already, in public health, we also have had health science at our Providence campus for a long time. We have a PA school, which has been in existence up there for about 6 years. And again, OT track, vet, dentistry, pre-med. So we're in on that too.
Johnson C. Smith does not have any medical programs. However, what we do is for students who are interested in going into the medical field your freshman year, we sit you down with an advisor. We map out your plan so that junior year, we can start making sure you have all the prerequisites needed in order for you to get into the medical program of your choice. So that's how we, because you don't have to go pre-med to go to medical school. So I just wanted to drop that little disclaimer.
Yes, for sure. So I'll just add really quickly, UNC Charlotte, we offer pre-health advising tracks across many of the professional school programs, so medical, dental, vet, very similar to others. It's not a major, very similar along the lines of what Brittany was mentioning. You don't major in pre-medicine. It is a supplemental advising track in addition to your academic program, as a way to ensure that you're taking the classes that you need to be eligible for medical school or a professional school, as well as preparation on that entrance exam like the MCAT, and then the exploration for professional programs that are going to be a good fit for you throughout the application process, interview, resume, cover letter, all of that is all part of the advising track preparation that you're getting through advisement at UNC Charlotte. We have another great question I'll pitch. We'll start with you, Jasmine, and kind of go down the line. Do any of the colleges have an honors program?
Yep, we do have an honors program at Queens. That application process would happen after you've already applied to Queens for admission, and it is an essay-based honors application. And essentially, if you are accepted into that program, you're honorizing your degree. So you're going deeper into whatever field of study you are in. Taking a few additional courses, but really the more important part is maybe involving yourself in some more in-depth faculty research, publications, things like that. And we do residence hall that our students are able to reside in if they so choose.
Lisa?
Yes, ours is very similar to Queens. So you will find out about your honors program or your ability to join part of that after acceptance to the university.
At Johnson C. Smith, we do not have an actual honors program. However, students who meet several different requirements are eligible to receive more scholarship money, as well as have advanced housing. So you get your housing first, as well as your, as a freshman, you may be eligible to have a suite style dorm instead of having a roommate, which could be pretty fun. My roommates never showed up, so that's my fun fact college story. So I never actually had a college roommate. They all didn't show up the day of, like, first day of school. Like, yes. So that might be something you don't have to wish for your roommate not to show up. You can, if you are meet those requirements, you would get a suite to yourself.
At UNC Charlotte, we have an honors college that is home to our 29 different honors programs. It's a separate application to be considered for honors, but essentially the university honors programs are our largest one, not major specific. And then our other programs are going to be more disciplinary, so they will be major specific. For example, the business honors program, an art and architecture honors program, and so forth. All right, and I think we're down to 2 minutes. So if anyone wants to throw in a last minute question for us to tackle, we're happy to do so while we're here. It has been a pleasure spending the last 45 minutes with all of you, highlighting the greatest city in the Carolinas.
Absolutely the greatest.
Question, favorite thing to do, eat anywhere in Charlotte?
Yeah, favorite thing to do in Charlotte is eat, for sure.
Yes, I just tried a new restaurant in Noda, the Goodyear House. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
It is good. Gorgeous outdoor area with market lights and a massive tree, and it's beautiful. And the food was good, atmosphere was good, and that is in the Noda neighborhood.
I love that. I've been wanting to check it out. I have to check it out. I tried Ruby Sunshine, I think is that what it's called, over in South End. It's a brunch place. Oh, so good. So good.
I hit up the new Grand Bohemian. They're very good. It was really early after they opened, but beautiful, beautiful hotel as well. Great food, good beer and wine selection. They have a steward around and compliment your food with you.
That's my favorite. I have a sweet tooth, so I try to find like the best places to get. So I found a bakery, Vanelli's. They are open to 10 p.m. So I like to go there because I usually realize that I don't have anything sweet to eat before bed at like 9 o'clock. So I'll make a beeline over there to go do that. And that's off of Central Avenue. And they know me by name now because I either go get cheesecake or a piece of red velvet cake every day. Like, hey!
I love it. I love it. Well, thank y'all so much for joining our session today. I'm sure that Adam is going to come on in just a minute and kick us off. So thanks so much for joining us, y'all, and we hope to see you on our campuses soon.
You have excellent timing. This will conclude this particular session. We thank you for joining us. Once you close the window, there will be a brief 4-question survey that should appear. We would encourage you to fill that out. We also encourage you to sign up for more sessions. You can see the full schedule of opportunities at CACRAO.org. And as mentioned at the beginning, a recording of this session will be available and posted on the CACRAO website. Take care and have a wonderful evening.